So I guess it's going to be the primary concern then of the... that she's an apothecary and she's going to be able to solve these problems. Oh, and then her experiments. So literally, she has a diary. She was writing in it at the very beginning of the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are here with the first episode of the Apothecary Diaries. Now, this has been a show that has been on the list for a while now. A long time ago, when Griffin was still with us here on the channel, I had asked him to pick a couple of anime to put on the polls that we were doing at the time. The Apothecary Diaries was one of my choices, and I think he picked like Kaiju number 8 or whatever that show is called, Kaiju number 9. I don't remember what it's called. He picked that one, and I can't really remember. It was so long ago. Well, obviously it was whenever the first season of the Apothecary Diaries came out, so however long ago that was. It's well beyond my capability of remembering off the top of my head. It did not win the poll by a fair margin, probably because it was against something like Mobile Suit Gundam or something like that. Either way, it didn't win. Recently, I did another anime series seasonal review, and Apothecary Diaries Season 2 was out. It once again made the list that I had people vote on in a poll. This time, though, it was only the top 10 seasonal anime review options that were on the poll, and it won. So, this is a show that I wanted to watch a long time ago. Haven't seen. Obviously, since I'm in the perspective of somebody that reacts to anime, I cannot watch an anime on my own because what if I spoil something that somebody else wants me to watch? So, I have not watched this at all. That said, I am familiar with the concept of what's happening here. At the very least, I think. I could be wrong, actually. I say I'm familiar with. Familiar with doesn't mean that I know. I think the idea is that she is going to be an apothecary in a royal court situation wherein she's going to have to Detective Conan things based on her specialty. That's my expectation. Obviously, I think it could go a lot different from there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. I'd be glad to be wrong if it turns out to be better than what I expected. Beyond that, though, if you're a first-time viewer to Stoneface Reactions, what we do is we react to the show, we discuss things afterwards, and then next episode, I'm going to come back with notes that I've written after having rewatched the episode on my own. So if I miss something here, know that I will be going back and rewatching again to ensure, to the best of my ability, that I don't miss anything. And of course, if there's enough characters to do so, we'll be making a concept board where we link different characters and their connections to one another to ensure that we remember who is who and how they relate to one another vis-a-vis allies, romance, relation, etc. So, expect that in the future. But otherwise, I think let's go ahead, hop on into this, and see what is about the Apothecary Diaries.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
No, we're just starting off with the opening. Now, the unfortunate bit is that I do have to talk over the opening for the purposes of copyright and the YouTube upload. Unfortunately, it already appears as though the subtitle track that I'm using is not very good. They, subtitles appear to just appear and disappear in the exact moment, as though they're set to be on screen for 2 seconds. which I would say is fine for the opening for episode 1. Beautiful animation, by the way, though. It's fine for the opening for episode 1. If the subtitles are doing this in the show itself, though, you'd have to figure out a solution. She is a lovely lady, I want to say. I don't know if I've ever said that about a character in a show before. She's a lovely lady.
Maomao. 読書館に薬を届けてくれないか。
わかった親父。
最近女狩りが多いから気をつけて。
Are we seeing her getting kidnapped already?
だって帰りに畑寄ってくるよ。
ああ、よろしく。
行ってきます。
Or was he just imagining her getting kidnapped? Oh, wow. Sorry, the oh wow is that we so often try to make places look busy in anime, and they're so filled with, like, people that are still not moving. And this place already looks busy.
これじゃお話にならないね。あれが六章館の誇る三姫の一人、売れっ子のパイリッカ。ただで見んじゃないよ。
Okay. So there's gonna be no shortage of beautiful women, apparently. What are we?
治りが悪いな。配合を変えてみよう。あら、マオマオ。パイリン姉ちゃん。
Does she have leprosy?
増えてるじゃないの。もういつもの薬の実験だよ。
Oh.
ちゃんとご飯食べてる？姉ちゃんは相変わらず。
I immediately jumped to making it worse than it was, I guess.
また実験とか言って部屋を爆発させたりしちゃ承知しないよ。それともうちで妓女として働くかい？
ばあちゃん、薬置いとくよ。
じじによろしくな。たく。
マオマオの声がしたけど。
あれ？マオマオは？
Okay, she was just taking notes here. I thought she worked there for a second.
好きあらば妓女になるって言ってくる。
So the guys that were eyeballing her in town are actually going to be the kidnappers. That's what I'm getting.
まさか人さらい？親父、心配する。
So this is all her remembering stuff.
Toguのご誕生です。リファ様、おめでとうございます。
無事にお生まれになったそうです。そう、よかった。
Oh, okay, I was confused for a second. I thought her hair changed or something. So we're dealing with, I guess, the starts of a bunch of different characters in this one new setting.
親父、ちゃんと飯食ってんだろうか。旗迷惑にも売り飛ばされたか身代わりにされたのか知らないが、あれからもう3ヶ月。御殿も花街も大して変わらないな。できれば高級なんて一生関わりたくなかったが、まあ来てしまったものは仕方ない。
I mean, it doesn't... I'm guessing you weren't ransomed. Because it seemed like the brothel might have paid to get you released, I would think.
男子の立ち入りは一切禁止。入れるのは国で最も高貴な方とその血縁、あとは大切なものを失った元男性である宦官だけ。
Ah,
妃、
harsh.
女官合わせて2000人、宦官1000人の大所帯だ。上級妃や中級妃、
Depending on the method of which they became eunuchs. Some of that is real horrible shit.
いつ命をなくしてもおかしくない。次は引きこもりの下級妃様か。ま、お給金が出てるだけまだマシか。ねえ、マオマオ、この札どこの部屋かわかる？ああ、これは藤の9だから、あそこだよ。ありがとう。
Does that imply she couldn't read? Or, yeah, never mind. There we go.
高級に勤める以上、最低限の礼儀は叩き込まれるが、文字の読み書きになれば話は別だ。文字が読めてお給金が上がったとしても、結局人さらいに間引かれる金額が増えるだけ。
How would it be swiped? The kidnappers couldn't be here because they're men. Also, they're eunuchs, too.
見た目だ。そばかす。絶壁。肉なし体型。私には関係ない話だな。
Surprised that we made a rock there for her to kick, considering how high class this place is supposed to be.
今のままがいい。おとなしく働いていれば2年で出れる。酒飲みて。
Was the idea she'd be able to pay for her own way out?
中央にものすごく綺麗な宦官がいるんだって。ここんとこみんなその話で持ちきりなんだよ。へえ。そんなに美形なら一度は見てみたいよね。そう思わない？宦官。
Maybe this is ignorant of me, but what would the allure of a handsome eunuch be for? Well, I guess you could do still. Never mind. There just wouldn't be any allure for him, I guess.
随分とお痩せになって。ああ。
So I guess it's gonna be the primary concern then of the.
申し訳ないのですが、イカンは今東宮の処置にかかりきりです。
That she's an apothecary and she's gonna be able to solve these problems.
そうですか。
Oh, and then her experiments. So literally, she has a diary. She was writing in it at the very beginning of the show.
お二人ともよ。やっぱり呪いなのかな。何の話？マオマを知らないの？
Sorry, for those of you that don't know, I react to these live on Fridays starting at 11 a.m., so I'm responding to a comment in the chat. They say some TV dramas, love stories involving eunuchs. I'm not saying that eunuchs can't fall in love, I was talking about the sexual attraction between them.
そして今度は玉葉様のところにもリファ様のところにもお医者様が入っていったんだって。
Okay, so she lacks manners, so she's openly talking about it, and that's how our main character is gonna find out. To then be able to try and help, I guess?
まあ当然だろう。帝に皇后がいない今、東宮を持つ妃、リファ妃は高級のトップと言えるだろう。
だけど、帝の寵愛は玉葉様に傾いているって噂なの。
Yeah, I was wondering who she was.
呪いと関係あるかもしれないって。
Since the other one seemed to be giving birth to the prince.
リファ様の方が容体は重いのかな。お医者様がつきっきりらしいよ。
リファ様ご自身も。
母子ともに頭痛とか腹痛とか吐き気もあるって聞いたな。
頭痛、腹痛、吐き気。
やっぱり絶対呪い。
Is she gonna try and help them as a means to get her own freedom?
呪いだなんて。
Instead of money?
頭痛に腹痛に吐き気。考えられるのは毒殺か。いや、こうやる。
Oh, do we think the other woman is poisoning her? And the kid?
可能性は少ないだろう。
No, apparently not.
とすれば病気か。もしかして血筋だろうか。たかが噂話に何を真剣になってるんだ。こんなのはただの憶測に過ぎない。過ぎないが。チートばかし言ってみるか。
You'd think the area would be so secure that you wouldn't be able to just peek in. Well, I guess she is just the consort, though.
お前が悪いんだ。 玉葉様、自分の子が娘だからとおの子の悪を呪い殺す気だろう。そんな
Damn,
わけ
she
ない
is
とあ
getting
なたも
thin.
分かっているでしょう。シャオリンも同じように苦しんでいるのですから。
リファ様は相当お怒りだな。玉葉様もお気の毒に。ジン様。
ですので娘の容体も見ていただきたいのです。
でも
あの真ん中のオロオロしてる宦官がいかんか。バカだろあの野郎。
You have to be, I guess,
あ
you'd
れ
have
だ
to
け
be
妃
eunuch.
二人のそばに
A
いて
eunuch doctor, huh?
本当に気づいてないのか。いや、それ以前に知らないのか。幼児の死亡、頭痛と腹痛と吐き気、そして何よりリファ様のげっそりとした様子。やはりこれは呪いでも何でもな
Stupidly,
い。
the first thing that comes to my mind is that they
問題
both
は
have
どうしたらいい
diarrhea.
のか。何かかけるものさえあれば。
Because for me, that would answer a bunch of the problems. Massive dehydration could cause headaches, feel stomach aches because obviously it's diarrhea. And it would answer weight loss problems as well. I'm not a doctor though. I'm just somebody who suffers a lot of health problems.
"東宮が亡くなられたという話が回ってきたのは、それから一月もしない頃だった。
We're going harsh real quick.
何か聞きたいことでもあるようですね。
それは
私が水晶宮を訪ねて娘を見てもらいたいと言った日です。あの後窓辺に置いてありました。この枝に言うんで。
尺投げですか。
おしろいは毒、赤子に触れさすな。無知は罪ですね。
宮中の医官はこのような遠回しなことをしないでしょう。
ええ、最後まで東宮の処置がわからないようでしたから。
この文、一体誰が。
それを探していただきたい
Oh,
のです。
I like this. The intrigue.
そういえばあの時。
何かかけるものさえあれば。
承知しました。
Wouldn't want to be seen to
これは
grin
し
in
ば
a
らく
situation like this
預かっ
though.
てよろしいですか。
帝は生き残った姫様を慈しんで玉葉様のもとに通っているんだって。
リファ様のところへは。
Oh, I hate that.
全然噂聞かないね。
都合のいいことで。
ああ
To lose your position and your child at the same
今す
time.
ぐ旧館長の部屋に来るようにとのことだ。
お部屋
何の用だろ
よし、ではここに集まった全員中に入るように。
う。下女が偉い人に呼び出されるなんて嫌な予感しかしない。ただの人手不足か。
Interesting that hers is the only skirt that has to be sewn.
わざわざ集まってもらって申し訳ない。
Or had stitching, rather, up the side.
なんだこの偉そうな女官は。
Arrogant looking woman.
私は高
Harsh.
級管理者のjinshiだ。
男なのか。さてはシャオランが言っていたものすごく美しい宦官というのはこいつのことか。もったいないな。この美貌があるのに子供がなさないなんて。
Is that who am I drawn as?
そばかすを。
やばい。
今日はこれで解散だ。部屋に戻っていいぞ。
どういうこと？
何か目をつけられるようなヘマをしたか。まさか先日の文が。そうか、この中で文字を読める下女は私だけ。それをあぶり出すためにあの書き物を。やばい、早く逃げ。
I mean, it's smart, but you could have just walked out of the room too, pretending.
君は居残りだよね。黙ってついてこい。
はめられた。
It feels like it shares a lot with the ascendancy of a bookworm.
はい、非戦の生まれでして、何かの間違いでしょう。
誰が教えるか。世の中は無知なふりをしていた方が立ち回りやすい。だいたいこの男になんでフミのことがバレてるんだ。十分周りに気をつけていたのに。なんて疑り深いんだ。てか、暇人すぎるだろ。
Also, slightly funny to me is she had the same guard technique as the peekaboo technique in Hajime no Ippo.
生きて帰ってこれるといいけど。
かの者を連れてまいりました。
どうぞ。手数をかけました。
よかった。
あなたがリンリーの命を助けていただき感謝しています。
そのようなことをされる身分ではございません。
いいえ、どれほど感謝してもしきれません。あなたはヤヤ子の恩人ですもの。
That does ask the question of who is the perpetrator.
何か勘違いをされているのです。否定して首を
Who was poisoning the face makeup?
関わり合いにもなりたくない。
実は玉葉妃からあるものをお預かりしている。これは下女の仕事着に使われる布だと知っているか？
そういえば似てますね。
なあ、娼服に関わる下女用のものらしいな。例えば君のような洗濯係とか、もしかしてスカートの裾でも。
Oh, the stitching. I didn't even put that together.
そこまでバレていたのか。
説明してもらおうか。なぜシャクナゲの枝を窓辺に置いたのだ？
あの日、事件の真相に気づいたからです。原因はおしろいだと。私の育った花町でも高級おしろいを使っている妓女は
Oh, because the other woman's wearing it and she's sick. You're not wearing it, but the baby's sick? Now that makes sense.
命を落としました。命と美貌を天秤にかけ、結局どちらも失ってしまった。私は薬屋でしたので、毒には詳しいのです。
そのおしろいは
子供の乳母が使っていたものです。他のおしろいに比べて白さが目立つと好んで使っていました。乳母も体調が悪かったようなので暇を出しました。金子も十分与えて。
So it wasn't the nurse, but whoever gave it to the nurse?
子供の口に入るものをもっと気にかけるべきでした。
私も同様です。もっと早くに気づいていれば多くの命が救えたかもしれない。東宮も。
フミを見つけてリファ妃にもおしろいのことを伝えましたが、私が何を言っても逆効果だったみたいです。
I mean, to be fair, she lost her child.
私は何をすればよろしいのでしょうか。
それでは今日から私の次女になってもらいます。
は？マオマオが抑えられないもの、それは好奇心と知識欲、そしてほんの少しの正義感。
I mean, she got kidnapped. Of course she wants justice. Who is our third-party narrator, though?
やばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。いや、おとなしく働いていれば。おかえり、ママ。どうだった？
こうしてマオマオは帝の寵愛を受ける玉葉妃の次女となったのだった。まあいわゆる出世である。
Yeah, I mean, probably better than what she would have gotten in her regular life before she got kidnapped. Okay, so it is a very political situation going on. Or at least politics are involved, which I appreciate because it's something to focus attention on and at least direct questions towards. It was very fast. I mean, it felt fast. Probably because a lot of interesting shit was happening, and it's very easy for time to seem to pass faster when you're very interested in something. I appreciate that her personal story is very interesting, but also that there's this whole I don't know, like maybe assassination plot. The fact that there's soldiers dying on the field, I have to think that maybe like the grain is maybe not harvested, but I don't know, something is done to the grain maybe at the capital or something, and then distributed. So that way, I feel like everything's going to happen here at this little palace area. So that she's going to be able to investigate in a singular location and still be able to figure out the cause of, say, poisoning the courtesans and the deaths of soldiers on the field. The simplicity of narrative is what I'm going for.
次回不愛想をなくすし
I have to wonder, though, because obviously they're making out. Sorry, I haven't picked up on names yet. I've said names, but it is so early in the show, obviously episode 1, that it hasn't occurred to me yet to memorize, or I haven't been able to memorize. Once I do the board and I start saying their names a lot, it'll come on. The red courtesan, whose child survived. It occurs to me that the show is pushing for them to be the friendly one for us to earn our sympathies towards, but the element of story writing in a mystery narrative has me instantly wary of them as the source of the problem, perhaps. Like, what if they're lying about the nanny being the one to introduce it and to get sick? Maybe they're the ones who actually introduced it and they're feigning sickness. I don't know. Obviously, there's no point in making like guesses about this in episode 1. Um, but it also feels like they're pushing the blue one to be maybe not evil, but villainous, unlikable. But obviously, you can see why they would have that attitude in the first place. Like, they're sick, their baby's sick, their baby dies. They suspect clearly their political rival is at fault for this. And without proof or anything, you're just going through the emotional tick, right? So seeing her as being aggressively anti this person would put them in a bad light, especially when this person is so happy and grateful that their child is safe. But I don't blame them for the position that they're in. Again, they just lost their kid. The Emperor is putting their love on this other woman instead of you, who has been the first one to begin with. You're going through hard shit. And I don't disagree with their attitude in the moment. And I feel like the show is shining a light on that for a reason. And granted, again, the show might not be as deep as the first episode. Maybe, as it happened plenty of times where I've overanalyzed a show in the first episode and then been disappointed in the second one. I hope that's not the case. This was an amazing first episode. I think I'm going to love the show the same way that I loved the trailers. Both trailers. I mean, I'll put this out there. When I was watching trailers both times, I didn't mention this at the beginning, I think this was also going up against My Happy Marriage, which I really wanted to see as well. So I'm glad that this one turned out to be so good in the first episode. there's a lot to think about here, but I think it looks like there's enough characters here where I'm going to be able to make a board for it, so that'll help me out. I don't know how much I'm going to have notes-wise next episode, though, because it didn't feel like there's going to be notes about the world building that they've done to the point where the kidnapping stuff and the ransom stuff is so onboarded immediately. But they do a lot to build up what society is like within this like palace grounds. So I'm going to definitely have notes about that just for my own sake to be able to keep track of what's going on. Other than that, though, that's probably all I've got for this episode, because most of the thoughts happen after the fact. So if you actually want any other in-depth opinions out of me, it's probably going to come in the second episode. So that said, once again, thank you for joining me. This has been Stoneface Reactions. I've been Theta, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?